like, where do you I wanna ask, like, what is coming for you? Like, what's next for Trey in the next 6 months?
Like 6 months, big things. I'm working on a project,
Mhm.
probably one of my biggest projects I've had coming out yet. It's called Trajan. It's a self-titled EP. It's just kind of gonna show the world like who I really am. You feel me? Um, got shows, a lot of big things. I'm getting back into doing other stuff I like to do, like YouTube,
Mhm,
um, basketball. I'm really just trying to show the world like more who I am. You
mhm.
know, more than who like as an artist. I want to be like somebody who really connected to me. So I want to just be able to branch out and
Mhm,
really show who I am to connect to people more than just a musical level. But
mhm.
the music's definitely still gonna be there for sure.
Right. And I noticed that, you have released multiple projects throughout the pandemic. So how's that for you? Like, was you during the pandemic, was you, like, motivated, or were you, like, just taking your time to release the project?
Oh well, during the pandemic, it definitely was really hard to get into the studio.
Mhm,
Because a lot of studios that I was going to, they just completely shut down because
mhm.
of the pandemic going on. So it was really a hard time. And a lot of the songs that was on the project, especially the End Pandemic, which is probably my best project up to this point,
Mhm,
was this music where I wanted to, it was kind of like help people get through this tough time.
mhm.
So I didn't want to drop a project that was like fully, sad because I
Right.
know it was a hard time for everybody. I wanted to give them the music to be able to get through it, like basically like one of them projects, like we're in this together type joint. So I wanted to give people that music, and then the project after that, Kid from the Trade Four, was one of them projects where I really wanted to show really like who I am, but it was kind of like that last ditch of okay, here's some music, but it's kind of like this is the type of like the music I gave them is me,
Mhm.
but it's gonna be very different from now on because I'm really gonna be like on a lot of different type of like levels. Because
Mhm.
I like music for what it is. I'm not just a
Right.
one direction type of person. Like I'm not just okay hip hop that's it. Like I want to do a lot of music.
Mhm.
So that was kind of one of my last projects where it's like one type of deal. Because
Mhm.
from now on I want to be myself. I want to be who I really am. So I'm gonna give you the pop. I'm gonna give you the hip hop. I'm gonna give you the whatever I feel like I want to give. I want to give that out. I don't want to just be like one dimensional. I want to be able to show, and people might like, people might not, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like I'm finally doing what I want to do and not
Mhm.
trying to stay in this character to where I'm trying to be somebody. Because for the longest, I was trying to be somebody like be way too professional, be
Right.
way too just hip hop. Like I'm trying to be like I was trying to be what hip hop was looking for, but I
Mhm.
wasn't being who I was.
Right.
So then like, and I'm like, I'm grateful that I came to before something like a major happened. Because if like
Mhm.
a label or somebody would have signed me for
Distributions. Mhm.
for who they wanted me to be or who I was giving off, and it really wasn't who I wanted to be, I would have been stuck being somebody. And I see that too much in hip hop nowadays, where people are who their label or what the world wants them to be, and they're not really who they want to be. So
Mhm.
I was like, nah, let me show the world who I am. So a lot of stuff I'm doing now is just me. Like it's just me. It's what I want to do. It's not forced. It's not me trying to
Mhm.
fit no agenda. It's just everything is just me. So that's why that's
Yeah.
where I'm at right now.
Okay, and so I wanna ask you, with the hit single "Girls," 100,000 views on YouTube, tell me, like, what was the process in making that single and the process of recording the video at that time?
Okay, so boom. So that song, around the time I was working on that, it was after I dropped the song Never Had, which was one of those songs where everybody liked it. Everybody was like, oh,
Mhm.
it's a good song. But in my head, I was just like, man, that's not what I want to do. Like, it was really one of them things where I had went to the studio and I was doing songs and I was like, I need a song to drop. And that was just something that I was like, okay, I'll drop this. So I
Right.
dropped it, gave it a video, But throughout the whole process, like I don't really say a lot about it, but a lot through the process, it was just like it wasn't me. Like it just I didn't like it. It was just like I don't even know what I'm doing. So I stepped back after that song to just focus on like, okay, what do I really want to do with music? And at the time, um, my main man Robin, he's now my manager. He works at Digital Lab Studios. He had came to me and was like, "Yo, I want to teach you how to engineer. I want you to be like an engineer here." So throughout that time, I was just sitting back. I was learning a lot because I was sitting back, learning how to engineer. I would sit in through sessions with other people, see how they do music. And as I was there, I was seeing my mind was opening up to a lot of things because I was seeing more than just rappers come in the studio. I was seeing like artists, people come in here. Some people don't even come in there to just record music. Like they bring their instruments, they make beats, and they was just opening my mind. So I was like, bro, I want to be different. But how can I be different? So it was one day I still remember it like it was yesterday. I was in the back and I was listening to beats and the beats and like that beat that I used for girls came up. Oh, it's just sang a melody. And I was in the back. I was like, oh no, I got some. So I wrote it and I wrote the whole song, like top to bottom. And before I left that studio that day, I went to Robin. I was like, man, I have to record this song. I mean, I won't be long. I can just lay it down. I can lay it down. I can do whatever. I got to get this off my chest today. So he was like, man, listen, I'm gonna bounce to go grab some stuff for the studio anyway. So you got it until I come back. You got the studio. You got it. You can do what you got to do. Went in there, did my thing, and I was just like, man, I didn't go in there and just do like my regular one, record this verse, record that verse, do it. I was like, man, I'm gonna take my time with it. So I record that, I record the layers, I record this, I do all that. And it just became the masterpiece that it was. And as I was finishing it up, I didn't even hear him come back in the studio. And he was like, man, that's you? He was like, nah, that's you. Like that's your bag right there. Like that's the music. Like that's like, and he's one of them people who like he knows your potential, he knows what you can do, but he don't say nothing. Like he lets you figure it out yourself. And he was like, I already knew like this is something you could do, but I didn't want to put you in that direction. I wanted you to be ready for it. And I made it, and he was like, man, you got to do something with that. So you got to, make a video or do something. Like, you don't just want to just have that song be a song. So I was like, all right, boom. So the original plan, honestly, was supposed to have a bunch of girls at the hotel and all this other stuff. But I'm honestly glad that it actually happened the way it did instead of how it was supposed to, because the people who actually came to the video shoot, shout out to all of them, they're actually like big fans of my music. Like one of them is actually my girlfriend. The girl, the light skinned girl with all the hair, that's my girlfriend. The other two, I'm cool with them, but they're like big fans of my music. And I'm honestly glad it happened that way, because a lot of the other people that were supposed to come weren't really like, I wouldn't say weren't fans, but the way that they came
really
off
know,
wasn't, they were kind of like, oh, it's a video shoot, I'm trying to be there type of junk. It wasn't like it's a great song, like they just wanted to be there. So, but they didn't show up. Only them three showed up, and honestly, it was fun the way it happened. And I had to make sure my main man, my boy Ivy, he's the video guy. I've been rocking with him since high school. Like, actually, I've known him since elementary, but we've been doing videos since high school. So I was like, okay, boom. I need you for this. Like, I don't want nobody else to touch this project. It's just me. I want to do it with you, and some real people. So it really hits different now because that video is so organic. It's such a organic song. It's nothing artificial about it. You don't got people in the video who you don't know. You don't got, everything is like it's like almost like family. So that's why I just feel so much better to me, because it's like we did this as like a team. It wasn't just like, oh, hire some people and do that and just do it. Like we did it all like organically. So honestly, that still to this day is my favorite song, because everybody be asking me to do that. I just performed at my homeboy graduation party yesterday, and he was like, bro, you gotta perform Girls, bro. Everybody loves that song. He was like, everybody loves that song. As I'm performing it, I'm hearing people like sing it, and I'm just like, man, like, you don't really people don't really understand. Like that really hits different, because for you to be on stage, you to perform, and you got people singing along to a song that you made, like it's just like dang, like you really feel like you make an impact. So.
Yes, and I wanted to bring it back to where since you're being from North Carolina, your city, Winston-Salem, and you see like other rappers, other artists that come from North Carolina, like what inspired you to pick up a pen and paper? Like what made you just be like, yeah, I know my career, I know my path.
Well, the I remember in high school. Well, honestly, I've been around music since I was a kid. My big sister used to take piano lessons, and I used to have a guitar when I was younger. And I always knew like somewhere in me, like something I'm gonna do something in my life with music. And I
Mhm.
ain't know necessarily it's gonna be making music, but I just knew something along the lines was gonna fall into music. So
Right.
when I was in high school, my homeboy had introduced me to him making music. But he does like, the rock and whoop type stuff. And
Mhm.
that was kind of cool at the time. And I had went to the studio with him a couple times. And I was like, okay, boom, cool. Like, that's kind of cool. Like, I want to get into that. So but I used to always write. What I used to do is take how I'm feeling and then turn it into lyrics. Because I used to take how I'm feeling and make it a poem, but I forgot who told me, man. It was some teacher in school. He was like, if you can write it and make it a poem, you can write it and make them into lyrics. So
Right.
it's just more like a little bit more determination. So I usually write how I felt or, something that happened and
Mhm.
then flip it into making the lyrics. But I used to never record it. I just used to just write it. And then my mom had found the studio I was talking about, Digital Labs, back in like freshman year, and I was like, yeah, I want to go there. I want to finally, put my voice on the track and figure out how I want to do this. And from the first time I went in there, I was like, man, this is like, it felt just like it fit like a puzzle. Like,
Mhm.
nah, this is for real. Cause you go in that booth, and it was just like, man, nah, like I'm feeling like I wasn't nervous and nothing. It's like this is where I'm supposed to be. But at the time, I was playing football, so to this day, I made a decision. I was like, man, I either got to go full time in football or I got to go full time in music.
Mhm.
And I sat there with the decision for like maybe a week or two, just like, bro, I gotta pick something because I can't put all into two things. Like it's gotta be all football. That means from sunrise to sunset, I'm just grinding, learning, doing what I gotta do football, or I'm doing that with music.
Mhm.
But at the time, I wasn't even nearly as big as I was, and nothing close to what I am now. So I was like, man, I don't know, because football, I've been grinding in football for like 2 years at that point, because this is talking
Right.
about like maybe like sophomore year going into junior. But
Mhm.
I've been knowing the coach and grinding since like before I graduated, like before I left middle school. So I was like, man, if it don't happen soon, this is not happening at all.
Right.
So I was playing, I was at practice, and I was a second free safety, and they switched the first free safety to middle linebacker, which means I was supposed to be the starting free safety. I was like, okay, maybe this is my chance to finally, be some, become something. But then what happened was they put another guy in front of me, and I was like, you know what, man, that just made my decision right there. Like, all right, I'm gonna just do music because
Yeah.
how long I got to do this until I finally can start? Because I'm like,
Right.
man, I've been grinding. I got all the way to second string. Now I'm supposed to be first string. Now I'm still, So I was like, you know what, bro? How long until I? Because next thing you know, it's gonna be graduation, and I still ain't touched the field. And now all this time behind me, I could have done something else. So I kind of told coach and my teammates, I was like, man, listen, I want to do music. Of course, coach don't care. Coach is like, man, you do whatever you want. But I got a football team. I don't care. My teammates like, man, you leave. And I'm like, man, listen, like, I feel like I got a call into this music. So I
Mhm.
just want to go to do this music. And from that point on, I was just grinding and grinding. And I go in that studio and I'm just grinding. And I mean, even back in the day, like I used to go to Charlotte with my homeboy Anthony. We ain't even had nowhere to stay. We just go there to shoot videos and get clips and just like do
Mhm.
stuff. This off iPhone. Like my earlier videos are straight up iPhones. It was just a team effort. But I knew this is something I wanted to do. So I was like, man, it's that commitment. Like we don't gotta have a team. We don't gotta have a cameraman. We don't gotta have the it's on. I'm committed. You committed. We committed. Then let's make it happen. So from
Right.
that point forward, I was just straight like grind and like I save up whatever I could, go to the studio, and then do it again, and then record at home if I had to, and go to the studio, and then do what I had to do, and all that led to where I'm at today. Because now it's like that's just my passion. Like I
Mhm.
don't ever stop. I just keep going, keep going, keep going. Cause I mean, while everybody else doing their thing, I'm doing my thing. And being in this city, there's a lot of great artists in this city.
Mm-hmm.
And I look up to a lot of them because a lot of them, you know, really putting on for the city. Like Tia Corinne, she's a great artist from this city. She's one of the main people I look up to because she really does her thing for this city. There's a lot of other artists.
Would you want to feature with her
I
one day?
Yes, I definitely do. I wanted to get her on Girls, but at one point, but like the window for that, like passed because I was so busy just
Mm-hmm.
working that I was like, dang, it's kind of. But I definitely want to get her on a song one of these days. Hopefully this year. Um, but yeah, a lot of people in this city really put on, and a lot of people that I look up to come to me and be like, bro, keep going. And I don't even be knowing that they know me. Like it's crazy because I'll run into them, or I'll be at the studio and I'll run into them. I'll be at shows and I'll run into them. Like, man, I see you keep going. I'd be shook. I'd be like, wait, you know me? Like I'm a fan of you and you know me. So it'd be crazy, like, cause they see me, like they'd be like, nah, I see you, you know what I'm saying? Cause a lot of people don't do that, like social media joint. They rather see you in person and tell you like, yo. And that's how I know it's real. Cause, you know, if you take your time out of your day to tell me that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, then I'm like, yeah, that's real. You know, I've
Right.
sat in studio sessions with a lot of people that just be giving me game and just tell me what I got to do, and it just be crazy. I just really want to, I really just want to be that man to put Winston on the city on the map because a lot of people in the city is talented,
You are.
but
You already are.
but a lot of times the city just goes under the radar for for because and I tell people this all the time. A lot of cities have their preferred music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you go to like Tennessee or you know states like that, they got their country music. You know, you go to Chicago, Atlanta, you got your you know your trap music, and that's kind of where this is at because we have a lot of people who do their like gangster rap, all that do. And I tell people all the time I have no problem with it. That's just not my alley. That's just like we already got people to do it. You know what I'm saying? I want to be me. I want to be different.
Right. And what is considered your sound, your unique sound? Like, would you consider yourself trap? Would you consider yourself R&B? Would you consider yourself a mixture of both?
And it's funny because I call myself just charismatic. Like I don't really have like one genre I can do. Because if you throw me in a studio and throw me on a funk beat, I'll be like, all right, bet give me like an hour or two. I'll have something for you. You know, you go me in there with a trap beat, I'll be like, all right, bet I got you. I have people come up to me all the time wanting songs, and they be just so surprised because they be like, man, what kind of music you want to do? And I'm like, bro, just throw me whatever you want to do, man. This is your song. I want to do what you want to do. So they'll come out the woodworks with something like crazy, and I'll come back even harder. And they're like, man, what? Like, because they don't expect it. Like I had somebody get a feature from me. And he sent me this beat, and it was thumping. Like I'll admit it was hard. And he was just like, man, you got to go crazy on that. And I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know. So I did it. I sent it back, and he was just like, bro, what in the world? Like, you really just did that. Like they be like, man, how am I gonna match you on that when you came that hard? Like I don't really have like a genre. I just love music as a whole. So yeah, I just do it. You feel me? Like
and so to wrap things up, like what can you say with your upcoming project, your self-titled project? Like, you know, any special guest appearances, how many tracks, what can we expect from it? Like when is it gonna come out? You know, things like that.
Well, I will say there aren't no guest appearances just because I want to just give y'all a refresher who I am. So we got 5 songs strictly me. It's a good time to drop it. I'm telling you, it's gonna give you that summer vibe. It's gonna drop. No official date, but I will tell you that it'll either be this month or next month. Either way, it'll be worth the wait. I know my fans been waiting on this one for a big long time. So you can just expect the refresh, man. Like it's really gonna be like showing y'all who I am. In 5 songs, you're gonna get every vibe you need. And honestly, like I said, I want to give y'all that. and I hope and the fans will enjoy that till I finally can give y'all the album, which will still be coming out this year. Still, it's still being worked on, but this project right here, we worked really hard on it. Like I said, probably the biggest project. Yeah, and it's funny because the biggest project, and it's the least amount of songs I've ever dropped on a project, but it's the biggest because it's different. Like this ain't nothing you ever heard from me before, and just want to show like the world like what I'm really capable of. Just one little step at a time. Right now, I showed the world like I'm capable of doing a lot of hip hop, but I want to show them how diverse I am. So this project right here, it will drop. It will be dropping soon. I don't got an official date, but everybody who's like locked in on Instagram and Twitter and all that social media, like you'll see it. It'll be coming soon. But yeah, this gonna be a big one. I know y'all gonna love this one.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for me interviewing you, and I cannot wait until the project is coming out. Either it'll be this month or next month. It don't matter.
Thank